20 years later, happening today, we mark 20 years ago today when the northern Gulf Coast was brought to its knees with one of the worst storms in modern U.S. history, as that made landfall at 6:10 this morning is when that officially made landfall.
Yeah, and Kyle, undoubtedly, it just was catastrophic.
Of course. So at the time the hurricane made landfall, the storm caused, get this, more than $100 billion in damage. That was in 2005's dollars. However, when adjusted for 2025 U.S. dollars, that total jumps to a staggering roughly $250 billion.
Wow.
I also spoke to two residents from Palmyra, Missouri, who ended up giving aid alongside the local Red Cross across the tri-states in the immediate aftermath. A decade-defining storm that claimed the lives of more than 1,000 people, reduced communities to rubble, and sparked political unrest. In late August 2005, the 11th named storm of the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season, Katrina, rapidly intensified into a violent Category 5 hurricane with 175-mile-per-hour winds. At 6:10 in the morning, Central Daylight Time on August 29th, it roared ashore along the Louisiana coastline, packing winds upwards of 125 miles per hour and a storm surge of up to 28 feet. In just hours, coastal communities and cities were transformed from bustling hubs to oceans of debris. In the immediate aftermath, volunteers from around the country went down to the Gulf Coast to give aid to survivors, two of whom came from Palmyra, Missouri. I spoke with husband and wife Mel and Brenda Butterfield to learn their story of helping with the Hurricane Katrina recovery effort in August and September 2005.
We served the meals, and there was about 75 to 100 servings, and so we would just serve that until it was out. So, every day.
Resources often ran thin, so volunteers with the Red Cross turned to alternatives.
And then they started serving ready-to-eat meals, government meals, and so we could pack a lot of them in and we'd give out enough for 2 or 3 days.
From the minute they first arrived at the disaster sites, they were hard at work, in many cases from sunup to sundown.
Burlington, Mississippi, and we got to know them pretty well. We went back later on with our camper and stayed there and helped that neighborhood recover, rebuild, fix things up.
The situation was so dire that at times, help just arrived too late.
Houses that they put signs on them for how many were dead, how many were supposed to live in that house, like 6. They might find 2 dead. They also marked the pets.
The Butterfields helped thousands of people get back on their feet from August 29, 2005 to September 20, 2005, and again for 2 weeks near New Year's 05 into 06. However, to this day, the long-term effects of Hurricane Katrina are still felt along parts of the northern Gulf Coast. For WGEM News, I'm meteorologist Kyle Ack.